jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. You a badass bitch. That don't get swallowed in that fat ass bitch. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. And you a badass bitch. That don't get swallowed in that fat ass bitch. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. You a badass bitch. That don't get swallowed in that fat ass bitch. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. You a badass bitch. That don't get swallowed in that fat ass bitch. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do.
Testing. Okay. See, I don't know what that was. Hold on, let me see something. Yeah, see, that was what got me last night. My mic was jacked up. It was jacking up on me. I don't know what it was. But my mic seems better now. I'm looking at my engineering, and it seems better now. So, yes, welcome, Dream of Nini 417. Welcome. Come on in. Let me see. Let me put my put the Facebooks up. Let me see that. In case anybody chats on the Facebooks. Hold on. All right. So, welcome everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this multi-million dollar stream. I'm your host, Kev Prosper, the owner and founder of Prosperity U LLC. You are tuned into Love and Money, the podcast of Prosperity U LLC. Thank you for contributing to the Cash App, $Prosperity U LLC. Thank you for visiting this website below at prosperunlimited.com. Thank you for liking, subscribing, following, and sharing. And remember to invest in the brand Prosperity U LLC. Build wealth, travel boldly, live royally. That's right, boys and girls. That's right. Let me make sure my sound is good. I bet. So let's get to the topic at hand. Alrighty. So I talked about this last night. My mic went stupid on me for whatever reason, and I spent a whole hour, chatting about this for nothing. But there's an opportunity in everything, right? And so it gave me a moment. Yesterday I gathered my notes, but today I had a chance to organize my notes, and I feel like today I can regurgitate my notes or recite my notes with a little more succinctness, if that's a word. So I'm pretty grateful for this opportunity to go against my regular schedule and just punch this in real quick. You know what I mean? So this statue that you see above me is called Grounded in the Stars. This is part of a series that aims to challenge preconceived notions of identity and representation, and this is by British artist ThomasJPrice. Now, first, I want to get into the purpose of art. The purpose of art is to provoke thought and conversation. Art is simply an expression. It's an expression of thought, and or emotion. And it's meant to provoke the audience, right? It's meant to trigger you in a good way or a bad way. You know what I mean? So like this, you could say that this was successful in that regard, right? Art is meant to plant a seed or send a message. You know what I mean? Let me see. It was my Instagram. It's meant to plant a seed or send a message, and it's also meant to reflect life. Art reflects life, and then some may juxtapose it and say life reflects art. Right? Let me check my Instagram. Dang, is my Instagram? I ain't even worried about it. Let me make sure. Hold on. Am I frozen? Okay, I'm good. Alright, good. I'm good. Yeah, man. Engineers are expensive, man. Trying to get them to do their job. Yeah. So, art is meant to reflect life, and some may say life reflects art. Right? Or that's a different conversation. But art is meant to provoke thought and conversation, plant seed, and send a message, and it's also meant to reflect life. So if an art piece triggers you in a good way or a bad way, it's succeeded in its desired effect. Now, the thing about this piece is, why a black woman, right? Why a black woman? For the past, maybe, there's in entertainment and in art, in the performing arts and in entertainment, there's been a lot of complaining about underrepresentation of black women and black people, right? And so, but I do believe that that's kind of a fallacy, because in the last maybe 15 years, we've seen the Me Too movement, we've seen Black Girl Magic and Black Girls Rock, entire award ceremonies, just for Black Girl Magic and Black Girls Rocks, in your local circles, in your local spheres of influence. You've seen a lot of women empowerment brunches and women empowerment award ceremonies and women empowerment meetings and conferences, right? And so, how much more empowerment can you get, right? So like the fact that black women or black people are being underrepresented, I think that's kind of waned away a little bit. Also the trope of the strong, independent black woman, that's also waned away. I think the millennials and the Gen Zs have kind of done away with that, and the trend has shifted. The strong, independent black woman, Gen X black woman, has kind of withered away. But is this statue a mascot? Is this statue a mascot for what you would call a marginalized group, a group that transcends and I got this quote from one of my favorite YouTubers, Crimson Cure, a group that quote unquote transcends the expectation of femininity, or in other words, they're not really women. They're women who think they're men, right? Or women who try to be men, right? Would this be a mascot? And then the question is, would a white woman have a statue like this? When you think of statues of women, you think of goddesses like Venus, or you think of a fictional character like the Statue of Liberty, like something that kind of is the epitome and the embodiment of an ideal, right? The Statue of Liberty and ironically, the Statue of Liberty was originally meant to be a black woman. But you know how it is. They wanted to switch it up and change it up, to not trigger their insecurities. You know what I mean? But originally it was meant to be a black woman. That's documented. That's in history. But yeah, and yeah. So if a woman was erected in a statue, it would be a symbol of hope and beauty and admiration. Where is the hope and the beauty and the admiration in this? Right. So I don't think if there's an underrepresentation of black women in this day and age, there's a misrepresentation of black women in this day and age. Let's keep that a being. And so one of the intentions of erecting this statue in a spot like Times Square, I used to live in New York City. I used to roam around Manhattan frequently at one point in time in my life. And there are very many statues. There are several statues of great men from the olden days all around Central Park. There's the Rockefeller statue, a fictional caricature statue in the Rockefeller Park. There's all sorts of statues. There's all sorts of museums all throughout New York City as well. You know what I mean? So yes, this particular statue reminds me of an exhibit in the Brooklyn Museum that I actually took a picture of and posted in my book, The Red Garden, in my poem anthology, which is like a great coffee table read. You should check it out. But there's a picture of a woman kind of similarly posed, but she's very, very, very voluptuous, and just anonymical in the facial features, because it's not meant to draw attention to the face. It's more it's more focusing on the body, right? So this very much so reminds me of that piece. Now, has that piece been exposed to the mainstream of people who are not art enthusiasts familiar with that piece? Of course not. You know what I mean? So like I don't knock people for being triggered by a piece like this if they've never seen that piece. You see what I'm saying? But the question that one of my favorite YouTubers, Crimson Cure, the question she posed is, why would a black woman be the counter or antithesis? Why would a statue of a black woman be the counter to the plethora of statues littered all around New York City of white men? Why would a black woman be the antithesis to white men? And what she posed was, it's simply because they both run their communities. Hey, I get it. When you have the single motherhood pandemic within the black community, that's been going on for some decades now, and it's come to a head in this generation, right? Where you have boys who don't know how to be men, and women and girls who think they're men, right? And everybody's mama raised and bitch made, right? Let's call a spade a shovel, right? Of course, your women would run your community, and a community cannot succeed with women in leadership, which is why we refuse to have a female president. It's not chauvinist. It's not chauvinist at all. If you really understand nature and you understand the nature of gender and men and women, a woman is not necessarily wired for leadership. It just is what it is. You can't succeed with a woman in leadership simply due to her the woman's chaotic nature, her chaotic, spontaneous nature. it's not stable for a leadership position. Now I know you probably thinking, yeah, but there's all sorts of women leaders all around the world, and women empowerment, rah rah rah. Cool, kudos to them. Whatever realm they're in, wherever they operate, I hope they flourish. You know what I'm saying? More power to them. But in all actuality, in all reality, women in generally are not meant for leadership. And this is why the black community is in the state that it's in. The black community is becoming extinct. It's almost not a community anymore. You see what I'm saying? And so with this imbalance, it provides the antithesis to the white male who runs his community, because he spent centuries marginalizing and colonizing and stealing and raping and pillaging resources to provide for his community and nepotismizing for his community. So that would provide a formidable antithesis, right? As far as the perception is concerned. Am I using too many big words? I hope I'm not. I hope I'm not using too many big words. I do apologize if I'm using too many big words. Let me continue. So, is she the average black woman? Well, a deeper question would be, is she the average woman? If you were to ask, is this the average woman? You could say yes. You could say yes. However, what triggers the uproar is what other ethnicity is represented by an average looking woman. You see what I'm saying? Okay, let's juxtapose it with white women, for instance. Yes, the average white woman looks like this. Yeah, is built like this. Yes, but in the magazines and in television and in popular media, is this the type that is pushed to the forefront of our eyes? Nope. Not at all. We all know this. We've been knowing this our entire lives. We've been growing up watching television and going on the internet our entire lives. We know that's not we know that this image, this shape, is not pushed to the forefront, is not celebrated and pedestalized. We know that. I mean, women complain all the time about how much they go shopping and can't find clothes that fit them, right? I'm talking about white, black, purple, polka dot, right? So, what other ethnicity pedestalizes the average looking woman? They don't. That's the thing. So why are black women comfortable with pedestalizing the average looking woman if they don't do it, right? And I know you can say, well, we shouldn't worry about what they do. It's not about what they do. It's about what we do. Okay, that's cool, but how you present yourself is how you're treated, right? And if you didn't know that, I feel sorry for you. But how you present yourself is how you're treated. The next question would be, why a plus size woman, right? Why a plus size woman? Why? Yeah, and I think I broke that down. And then because the thing is, well, as far as the woman being plus size, right? Would we be triggered if the woman was slender? A deeper question would be, would the plus size black women be triggered into an uproar if this statue was of a slender black woman, right? That's another thing. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? So you pretty much can't win. Because the plus size women, I don't look like that. Well, sweetie, we don't want to champion mediocrity, and that's another point I want to get to. Where's that in my talking points? Yeah, I'm about to get to that. We don't want to champion mediocrity. I think that's the crux of it. That's the crux of the triggering. Why the clothing? I do believe there would not be as much of an uproar if she had a dress. But then again, the purpose of art is to provoke thought and conversation, right? It's to plant a seed and send a message. Well, what is the message? Why is she wearing pants? Pants are considered to be a masculine article of clothing. Now, I get the cultural, historical references, because you got the Scottish who used to wear skirts, you know what I'm saying, for going into, because it was comfortable for going into battle, and I get that. Whatever. Okay, cool, great. You got it. Welcome, sexy China. Welcome. How you doing? Don't be afraid to talk to me in the chat. I do talk back. Just talk to me nice. All right. But yes. So the clothing, you know, if she had on a skirt, it wouldn't be as triggering. But that defeats the purpose. It's this piece is meant to trigger. It's meant to provoke you. It's meant to inspire you in some sort of way, right? So yeah, you know, it's supposed to be a woman, but she's in typically a man's attire, right? Or it's a bland, drab attire. So it's just like blah, whatever. Like, oh, I'm just gonna throw on this little t-shirt. I seen this funny TikTok. This girl, she was like, "Oh, thank you Times Square for doing a statue of me." And then she put on the outfit. She put on the basics outfit, looking like the statue. She had on the t-shirt and jeans. You know what I'm saying? And then she was like, well, maybe you could switch it up a bit. And then she started switching on outfits, little crop tops, halter tops, or whatever. It was cute. It was real cute. I dug it. It was cute. And then so yeah, we talk about the outfit. The outfit being I don't think the outfit is very masculine. I wouldn't say the outfit is masculine, because think about it. Like, I'm as a black man, as a lover of black women, and who is loved by black women, you know what I'm saying, namely my mom and my cousins and my aunts and all that, right? You know, we all know a black woman who dresses and is built like this. Do we not? Like, come on. So I guess in pedestalizing the average black woman, you are making the statue relatable. I guess that's what they're trying to do. If that was the motif, I get it. Okay, cool. I give you that. You know what I mean? And yes, it makes the statue relatable, and I guess that's where they thought, oh, this would be a good idea. Yeah. The face. We look at the face. The face this is kind of Mona Lisa-esque, where you can't tell whether it's happy or sad or whatever, right? But once again, like I said, we're championing mediocrity. We're championing the average, and average is not wrong. What simply average is average means majority. On average, we typically, average means typical. It means normal. You know what I mean? If you understand statistics, in order to calculate an average of something, you would have to take the sum. You would have to add up the sum and divide it by the number of occurrences. I'm getting too technical. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the dried vaginas out there. I'm sorry. I'm over here using big words and I'm calculating math equations like that. No, this is going all wrong. This is going all wrong. I'm sorry, but average is not bad. Now, however, here's the thing. An average of a thing is not bad, but you can calculate an average of the average of something can be bad. An average, something that is average is not bad, but the average of something is bad. For example, the average black woman is obese. Okay, that's normal, right? That's an average. It's normal. However, obesity is bad, right? So the average is not bad, but the fact that they're obese is bad, right? So I mean, I don't know. Does anybody have a more relevant or more effective analogy? I don't know. Help me out here. Help me out. But I watched this clip on this commentator on Fox News of all places, Fox News, right? Come on. But he mentioned he mentioned the concept of equity over merit. And once again, like I said, championing mediocrity, championing the average, equity over merit. Whereas you don't have to actually accomplish something and achieve something to actually get a statue erected of you. You just have to be average. You just have to be mediocre. And you get a statue, and you get a statue, and you get a statue. Yeah. And so in this case, this is wanting acceptance, but not wanting to work for it. You know what I mean? You're upset that you're being pedestalized for being average, but then why not work to no longer be average? Why not work towards excellence instead of being average, right? Why not? And that's the thing. So like, you could look at a population and you could say, on average, the average income of this population is a low amount, right? Or you could say the average income of this population is a high amount. An average can go either way. You know what I'm saying? It's just an average. It is what it is. However, it's the category that matters, right? So I think that's a better analogy, right? You know what I mean? So an average can be good or bad, but an average in and of itself is not bad. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you want to be perceived a certain way, you know what I'm saying? Present yourself a certain way. If you want to be perceived differently, present yourself differently. You know what I mean? And that takes work. That takes lifestyle change. That takes mentality change. That takes psychological reprogramming and not brainwashing, but wash braining. You got to wash your brain. You know what I mean? Like it takes a lot of that. And that's almost too much to ask for a lot of people. So they'd rather complain and be mad and upset. It is what it is. So yeah, I talked about celebrating mediocrity. So you need to actually accomplish something to achieve it, to be rewarded with a statue. Now my last talking point is, who approved this statue and why was it approved? Now you can't tell me that a 12-foot statue. I don't know if you know how tall 12 feet is. First of all, like, let's think of a 7-foot basketball player. Have you ever seen a 7-foot basketball player? Has any of you ever seen a 7-foot basketball player? Like, they're tall as crap. Like, I know a former NBA player who's like, what, 6'9", and like he's tall as crap. Like, come on, like. So imagine 7 feet. Like, yo, what? You know what I mean? So a 7-foot. So imagine a 7-foot basketball player. So now think of 12 feet, right? So erect a 12 feet tall statue in one of the biggest tourist attractions in the world, next to Paris and Jamaica. Right? Come on. You mean to tell me they were just able to do it willy-nilly and didn't have approval, right? You mean to tell me nobody owns the property? There's not a family that owns the property at that particular spot where the statue is erected at? You know what I mean? I mean, this New York City, it's like a real estate haven. Like, you know what I mean? Like a multi-million dollar, billion dollar real estate haven. And you mean to tell me some it was just willy-nilly just erected just off the strength, like nobody approved it? Yeah, right. Somebody or some entity or a group of entities signed off on this and gave it the okay. You know what I mean? And so you have to think, okay, what made them think it was cool? What if it's causing this much of an uproar? What made them think it was cool? And was the uproar a desired effect? You know, this particular situation, it's easy to blame feminism. It's easy to blame feminism. One of the quotes that Crimson Cure says, she was like, feminism was a tool for destroying the black family. You know what I'm saying? It was a quiet dagger. You know what I'm saying? A silent dagger. That's what feminism was. And it heavily contributed to the single mother pandemic and the divorce rate that we suffer from today. You know what I mean? And so it's easy. The thought of erecting a statue of a black woman is a lot safer and more comfortable. The thought of that is a lot more comfortable and less threatening than erecting a statue of a black man in New York City. What if this was a statue of a black man? What would be the uproar? What would be the triggering? Who would be triggered? You know what I mean? A lot of the more left wing, right or right wing conservatist white platforms are they're raking this thing through the coals, man. They're just shooting all types of shots. Like the joke, they're letting it fly right about now. It's crazy. But I think it's, you know, because of feminism and because of what feminism has done to the black community, the idea of erecting a 12-foot statue of a black woman is a lot safer and more comfortable and less threatening than erecting a statue of a black man. And it's and so with all of this triggering, all of the triggering will never amount to anything. We know this. How many times do people get triggered and uproared and no one ever gets canceled? Or they try to cancel them and they can't cancel them, right? We know this. And so you have the brainwashed black women who see no problem in who actually like pedestalizing and championing mediocrity. The ones who champion mediocrity, because to champion mediocrity says that you know, we accept you the way you are. You don't have to be better, because being better means you have to do work. You have to do inner work, and that's more painful. So yes, they feed my ego. Yes, I'm average, but they love me for being average. Yes, I get to be comfortable and stay the same. I get to be who I am, and not be better, right? And so they don't think, and that's as deep as they think, right there. That's where it is. They don't go any deeper than that level, right there. You know what I mean? And so when it comes to defending their image, they don't think deeply enough or think critically enough to fight it. You know what I'm saying? And they're so thirsty for acceptance, they'll take anything that feeds their ego. You know what I'm saying? I do believe there were a lot of black women, average black women, who saw this and were like, wow, it's relatable. It's me. Yeah, this is beautiful. Yeah, you know what I mean? They saw the mediocrity being championed, and it fed their ego, and it put stars and twinkles in their eyes. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, if you want to dismantle any community, you teach the children and market the women. You know what I mean? The men will see through this. The men, like I'm calling a spade a shovel out here all day long, and you know, and this video is going viral and getting millions and millions and millions of views, right? Right. Everyone's just constantly hitting the like button every time they watch this. You know what I mean? And so with the waning of the strong, independent black woman, this kind of ambiguous statue, it kind of speaks to that strong, independent black woman, but it also speaks to that mediocre, average black woman. It says you're the pedestal, you're the champion, you're all that in a bag of chips with the dip and a soda on the side. You know what I mean? But yet, and still, how we present ourselves is how we're treated, because no other culture, no other ethnicity pedestalizes and champions the mediocre and the average of their society. You know what I mean? Let's keep that. Let's bear that in mind. Yes, we don't have to do what they do, but we have to present ourselves better than we have, or at least on par with how they present themselves. You know what I'm saying? They don't champion their average. They don't champion their mediocrity. They champion their gods and their goddesses. Let's keep that a being. We don't need to do what they do. We just need to champion our gods, and most importantly, our goddesses. That's what we need to do. We need to champion our best. We need to champion the ones who accomplished and contribute to our community in the most positive, lucrative, and uplifting way. But that sounds too much like right, don't it? That makes too much sense, right? That requires black people to be better and stop talking the way they talk and talk better and walk better and listen to better music and dress in better ways. And that's too much better. That's too much work. No, we can't have that. No, we just want to be comfortable. We just want to be complacent. We just want to stay the same. We want to be mediocre. Don't we? Aww. But all in all, I want to thank you guys so much. This was a good talk. This was a very, very good talk. I don't know about you, but I liked it. I liked it very much. And I'm very glad I got to get a second go at it with all of the technical difficulties that I had last night. So with that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning into this multi-million-dollar podcast. I'm your host, Kev Prosper, the owner and founder of Prosperity U LLC. You are tuned into to Love and Money, the podcast of Prosperity U LLC. Thank you for contributing to the Cash App above at $ Prosperity U LLC. Thank you for visiting this website below at prosperunlimited.com. Thank you for liking, subscribing, following, and sharing. And remember, we do this every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And remember to invest in the brand Prosperity U LLC. And build wealth, travel boldly, and live royally. I will see you guys next week. Bye.
Be sure to shop Amazon with Prosperity U LLC. Link in the description.
These are all of my books. My very first book, Lead the Fairy Tales Up to Disney, The Reality of Dating. Haunted Truths, a romance murder mystery set in the heart of Brooklyn during the 1980s, during the height of the crack era. Switch, my romantic comedy. My trilogy, Spirit of the Machine, 1, 2, and 3, sci-fi action thriller. My poem anthology, Red Garden. That is System of the Sun. That's my book on organizational skills. Don't wait till I get rich to buy that book. New Shoes. That's my book on self-esteem, on how to love yourself. Ratchetology. Yes, I'm the Ratchetologist. Take my advice. Visit prosperunlimited.com and click travel to book your next vacation.
Do that freaky jam on the beat. Busy with that butter shit, that bone feed. Did you double do that song sing. Flicky with some butter, so that bone sing. If you cheeky cheddar, get her own cheese. And so chicken with that head, or get bitch that won't be with the official with that whole sleeve. Let me see you head, wish that with that long sleeve.
I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. You a badass bitch. That don't get swallowed in that fat ass bitch. I got racks to the ATM jam. Tell me what you wanna do. I got racks to the ATM